Hello and welcome back to another episode of Boys Gone Wild, the post-Glastonbury special.
Happy to be here.
Andrew is happy to be here.
This is what I want to be doing.
Yes, Andrew is fresh as a daisy. It hasn't affected him at all.
Glastonbury, Schlastonbury.
It's like he didn't even go. He spent the whole time in his tent studying.
Studying the rules of the law.
He took a giant tome of the laws of the land.
I had a realisation while I was there. But fuck this lifestyle. I'm ready for a change.
And he's been
and now I'm on
educating
course
himself to
be a
pass the
lawyer.
bar.
And I'm going to pass the bar in a year.
You're not coming out, Andrew?
No, not today, you fuckheads. Couldn't stop saying fuckheads at Glastonbury.
Was that?
That was my word of the
festival. Fuckheads.
Yeah. Calling everyone a fuckhead.
Not the funnest word of the festival, I guess.
No. A lot of people's word of the festival is like peace or love.
Yeah, something like that. Fuckhead.
Fuckhead.
Did you? So obviously, last time you went to Glastonbury, you shat your brains out.
Well,
right.
I did a couple of poops in my pants. I didn't say shat my brains out.
Yeah.
No, I did. I shat my brains out.
You
last
arrived,
festival.
shat 25 times and left.
Poo. No, fuck's sake.
So last time you
pooed,
arrived, used the toilets and then left.
I actually did visit the toilets more than I visited stages.
Yeah.
This time, flip the other way.
This time, how was it this time? Jesus Christ.
I'm in a very bad state.
Yeah.
I was fine. We're doing the podcast a day late because I couldn't do it yesterday.
Yeah.
Just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I was fine on, usually I'm like, Monday's hell.
Yeah.
Tuesday's bad, and then Wednesday you're kind of back.
Yeah.
Whereas it's flipped it for me this year for some reason. Whereas Monday, Tuesday, absolutely fine. Kind of living the dream. I was like, shit, I've avoided everything.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday I was like, why can't I stop? I was like falling asleep and like spasming. And then just like feeling dizzy in my own house, going like, what's going on?
Have you had any sleep paralysis or anything like that?
No, but I had like the most insane, I had like 10 insane dreams last night because I kept waking up being like, oh, can I just go back and like have a normal dream?
Nightmares?
What
are those?
Hell was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Do you remember any of them?
One of them I just went through like a guy's entire life from birth to death. And I was just, I woke up, that was the first one, and I woke up at like 11 p.m. being like, there's a lot more to come, isn't there? Weirdly, I kept being involved.
Who was the guy?
I don't know. It was like,
Did you see him die?
You know in Rick and Morty where they go in, there's like a game at that alien arcade where they go in and you can become, you like live someone's life.
Yeah.
It was that. I just lived someone's life and he died.
Did he have a good life?
No. It was
a bad life.
It was a horrible life.
It was a terrible life.
For some reason I kept, in 3 of them, I've just remembered a fun one. In 3 of them, I kept scamming people. I was like a scam artist. I have no idea why, but I was trying to con people out of their hard-earned bucks.
Advisor, I don't know if there's something
maybe
like you reflecting
there.
On, like, is this just a kind of legitimate scam?
Yeah, maybe I was trying to like empathise with the scammers themselves. Which is why I've been so mental today. But the other one, I was intimately involved with the production of Kill Tony.
Really?
I mean,
that makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Less of a jump. You're
less of a more like, oh yeah.
You probably fell asleep watching.
More like a genuine dream, I think. No, but and then it never happened.
Were you a producer?
Yeah, I was.
Or were you on stage?
I was both. I was a producer, but I was like going to make a cameo.
Okay.
It was a real mucking situation.
You're a member of the crew. You're working cameras and stuff.
No, I was more like a executive producer. I was like, the direction of the show, what we wanted to do with it. We had to move venues. It was a
live
nightmare.
Tony.
My uncle was there.
Was he?
Yeah. Don't know why. But it never happened. It kept going on, and I was like, "Why is the show not starting?" And it was like 4 a.m. and I was like,
"What was your job?"
I know, but Tony was being a nightmare. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go home." I don't know why we're still here.
Yeah.
So now it's slightly better than yesterday. The recovery is better, but there was an hour before we were doing this podcast. So I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
How bad is it on the scale of 1 to bad?
Oh, that's a tough scale to work with. Because if I say 7, what does that mean, really?
That's not on the scale.
Yesterday, it was like it was like a 7. I had to take myself on a walk for the first time in my life.
Really?
You know, I'm not a walker, but I was like, I need to go on a walk. So I went on a walk.
Like when you take an old person around the grounds and just do a couple of laps, just to get some fresh.
Holding onto a stick that isn't even touching the ground. It's like, whoa. I went on a walk, but we went to the new house that we're moving into. So that was handy. So, well, if I'm taking myself out for a walk, I had 4 hours sleep just in the day.
Yeah.
Felt dizzy, like bugging out a bit. Paranoia. No paranoia, just like spasming. How about you? How are you?
I'm good. I got away with murder at Glastonbury, especially considering it was contrasted.
Who'd you kill? Just keep going. Ignore me. Just keep going. Ignore most of the things I'm going to say.
I killed Banksy.
Banksy?
But no one's going to know.
No one's going to know.
So it's the perfect crime. I got away with murder.
Yeah, it's like...
He was just doing that refugee boat thing he did at Idols.
Yeah, and
I gave him one, and no one knew who he was. No one cared.
Yeah. That's a good move.
But, I actually... I slept great during the whole festival.
Yeah, so did I.
I did, and that was kind of the backbone, because a lot of people who I was hanging out with were fucked. Like Paddy and Bebe were fucked most of the time. They could not. They had slept terribly.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bebe, you passed the Holy Ghost to her. You know, it was from one to another.
I passed the shit baton.
Exactly. Well, have you seen It Follows? Do you know that?
No. It
Follows is where there's like a demon that you have to get out of your body and give it to someone else to stop yourself from dying. And I hear that's what's going to happen with the Glastonbury curse. So last time, obviously, Andrew arrived.
How many times have we said this on the fucking podcast? I think like 100.
Did 25 shits and
arrived,
left.
pooed, left. I pooed, left.
And then,
it was mostly throwing up, by the way.
We're all watching Andrew saying, "Is he going to do it?"
It was a
again?
bit fucking annoying.
Is it going to be round 2?
I was just trying to enjoy Little Sims, and everyone's going,
"Is he going to do it again?"
Is he going to do it?
And then it's always the ones you least expect. Little do we know that the curse was passed on to Bebe.
Upon to Bebe.
Poor Bebe got absolutely fucked. And I know she'd hate me talking about it, but it is too relevant.
Yeah.
She shat her brains out as well.
It seems to be a horrible tradition in our group that one of us has to use the facilities heavily.
I mean, Bebe, she was ill going in, but then had a good night on Thursday, managed a good night on Friday, felt awful Friday day, and then Saturday night had maybe the most traumatic evening of her entire life.
Yeah.
By the way, I had the best night because I'd said goodbye to her and say, "I'll."
That's why you had the best night.
I put her to bed. I was like, "You'll be fine." She looked like she was gonna be fine, and then I went and had the biggest night I had the whole of Glastonbury. Carefree, in love with the world. Came back. She's still awake. She is in the most pain she's ever been in.
Yeah.
And also, we were camping in the same place we camped last time, Dairy Ground, when you shut your brains out.
Yeah,
right?
there it is. So keep it tally.
And something that was really, really unfortunate for poor Bebe is she didn't realise where the nearer toilet was.
I think I actually would have killed myself if I found out.
So she had the same experience you did, but at least you were walking half the distance.
At least I checked where the toilets were. I was aware that I'd probably be using the facilities a fair amount of times that evening and did a quick, look around to see.
A recce.
But yeah, the ones she was using they're the worst toilets in Glastonbury.
And they're like so far away.
And they're so public.
And she went like 12 times.
They're so public. They're right by the entrance. Everyone coming into Dairy Ground from the festival goes through that. And there's queues for those toilets. In the middle of the night.
And just on Saturday night, just 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, 4 a.m.
Disaster.
Absolute disaster.
Well, I'm glad someone had it. Well, now we share a bond.
Exactly. And if we go again, it's me and Elle. It's between us.
It's between you two. It's between you two. I reckon. I'm hoping for you. I think.
I don't know. Is this just our friend group? I don't know if you have a big group that goes to Glastonbury.
She got a stomach bug, by the way, before she left.
Yes.
Which is
that's what happened to you as well.
That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But I don't know if she did because stomach bugs come on the next day, and she didn't have it on Thursday or Friday.
Well, she was already ill going in, but that wasn't stomach buggy.
Yeah. But
so
then,
this was something. It morphed into something else, or she got something else.
Come a couple of days later because mine went swimming, swallowed the pool water. if you swallow poopy pool water, there's so much shit talk.
Well, we have to.
We have to.
It's fine. Give us a
break. Give us a minute.
This isn't indulgent. This is recounting events.
This is journalism, actually. So you swallow poopy pool.
Andrew drank the poopy pool water.
And the poopy pool water immediately flushed the system. So that was the next day kind of thing, which I'm kind of happy with, I guess. Although, so that you'd expect that the next day, but I guess there are some ones that can come on a couple of days later. So it's weird that we both got stomach bugs before.
Yeah, it's odd.
I have a terrible record of this anyway.
Yeah.
I got chicken pox before.
You get ill all the time.
when I'm going to things I want to go to.
You're always fucked.
It's so
you missed
annoying.
Reading Festival because you had laryngitis.
Laryngitis.
Did you have laryngitis?
Tonsillitis.
Yeah.
And then missed another one because of tonsillitis.
Yeah.
And then when I was younger, I went skiing and then I had chicken pox
Yeah.
in a fucking chalet.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Oh, boo-hoo. This middle class creep.
Chicken pox in a chalet.
Can't enjoy the slopes.
I would kill for chicken pox in a chalet.
Fuck off. You're a bunch of dickheads. So no, this time a lot better.
Yeah.
Had a great time. I got away with murder as well.
Well, you're not getting away with it now.
No.
Now you've been
I'm
caught.
now.
You've been caught.
The police have caught me. I'm firmly locked in a cell right now, with no sunshine in sight.
This is Al Capone. You thought you got away with it, and they got you on a technicality.
Yeah, I feel better now that we're doing the podcast. I think the anticipation of doing the podcast, feeling loopy, I was
I
like,
get incredibly nervous before doing this podcast.
every time. I'm
It's
like,
because of you guys.
You're looking right at us.
It's the pressure you put on us.
Well, I don't want to fucking spasm at some point. I feel like, but yeah, no, this time was great. I got away murder. Slept well.
Yeah, slept amazingly.
Slept really well, which was handy.
I mean, poor Pad, who, in the worst tent in the world, slept terribly the whole... And every time
Could he not fit in it?
Not really.
Because every time his tent was on our tent. It was upon our tent. And every time I came back, I was like, there's no way he's in that. Because I never... There was one night where we kept him up because we were talking for fucking ages. Because there was part of me, I was like, there's no way he's in that tent. The guy can't fit in there.
No, he couldn't fit in that tent.
He couldn't fit in the tent.
It was a coffin. It was literally a coffin.
It was abysmal. No, slept well, didn't, kind of a bit bleak in the morning, but not too bleak enough to... It was the least food I've ever eaten in my life. 1 meal a day.
Really?
1 meal a day.
That's not the right way to approach it,
It's a terrible way. I'm not bragging.
What, you're like intermittent fasting?
Yeah. It was more than intermittent fasting. I would not eat for a solid 24 hours.
Why not?
I don't know. Just kind of forgot.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't that hungry. But I'd wait, or we'd have breakfast at like 11.
And then
when I say breakfast, festivals like a burrito or a noodle.
Yeah, dude.
Festival
Wicked.
breakfast.
Wicked.
Fuck cereal.
Every time
Glasto,
every time I eat in a burrito for breakfast, I'm like
Glastonbury.
This is so Glastonbury.
Can Glastonbury get any madder? Pulled pork for breakfast. Hot take. Food shit at Glastonbury.
Okay, that is a hot take.
It looks like I said, oh, it's great, we can enjoy all that food at Glastonbury.
Yeah.
When I was going there. And then people were like...
But you don't eat that much food, so...
No, well, I have previously.
Okay.
I'm not exactly the best person to do this because I had 4 meals in 4 days. But it looks good because you're like, wow, look at all these lovely things.
Look at these options.
Look at these options. And it's always like, well, that was average. Very average food there. Burrito, average. Noodles, average. Pizza, average. And whatever I had on the last day, average. It's because obviously...
No, there's some good stuff. I had some good stuff.
The souvlaki is the only, sick thing there. What did you have?
In the forest, when you speak
there you go. Yeah, because you're too busy wanking off hippies. They're probably giving you their special secret formula.
There's a place in the forest where it's just run by stinky hippies, right? Yeah.
Well, I went to the Stone Circle.
It's like a commune. This is in the forest just
Horatio
outside.
and I have very different festival experiences. He's literally prancing around with the hippies. Prancing around with the hippies, with bongos.
And it's always like, we've got to see this guy, and it's always like, oh, this guy's incredible. We cannot list this guy.
Whilst Horatio's sitting around with incense around and going, oh. Well, there's Horatio has a cliche that he always ends up in is a place called the Stone Circle.
Yeah, the Magic Stone Circle.
The Magic Stone Circle, which is
I begin my day there and end my day there.
I had never been there and never had any desire to go there because I'm always at the music at this time. Yeah. But then...
No, but it'd be like, this was after the music's basically ended. I'd only go
not
when...
true.
It's like 4 or 5.
Music till 6, man.
Yeah, fair
If
enough.
you're out, you're out. But no, so... It was very busy. We'll get to that. It was very busy this year, so we couldn't get into one place. So we were looking around for something to do.
Yeah.
And then Elle was like, why don't we go to the Stone Circle, see if Horatio's there?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it.
It's one night we chose not to go to Stone Circle.
Let's go. It was the one night you didn't one night you didn't go. So it's just me looking around, terrified.
Yeah, it's the crustiest people in the world.
It is like I want to get out of here immediately.
Yeah.
It's just what it is a group of hippies, and we couldn't, and it's just like gentle.
Was anyone playing bongos?
Of course. Gentle, just about playing bongos. You know, it's like the minimum of what music could be. Just
it's not
like,
really music though, it's more of like a spiritual
boom, bub, boom, bub, boom, bub. But then, so you think, oh, I guess this is like faux spirituality in a way.
Yeah.
The problem is that the music is intersected every 30 seconds by a NOS fucking canister.
And you should try one of those NOS balloons.
No.
Because we've tried many different NOS balloons in our life, and I'd have a single there, and it'd always be the most intense drug experience I've ever had in my entire life. It must be at the end of a big night.
The Stone Circle is my least favourite destination to have the most intense drug experience.
No, it must be the power of the ancient stones.
In.
It must be the power of the ancient stones. I don't know what it is.
The power of the ancient stones.
What they're putting into those balloons. But
it's probably normal shit.
Yeah, but then we'd do it, and all six of us would have the exact same trip, which was within a space of a minute, you become everyone, and then slowly, you slowly become you, and you're like, wait, I'm not me, and then slowly it becomes like high definition, like, oh, I've been this guy the whole, and you're like, they become livid that you've been you the whole, yeah, and just complete ego death.
Yeah. Look, that's quite it. If I'm honest, I don't want that at 6 a.m. on Glastonbury. I don't want to come from like my garage drum and bass to the I myself, not my no. I want to go back to the tent and have a cry. It was terrifying. Yeah. I think because we were kind of finished with the night anyway. Yeah. We did a circle of it, and I was like, we need to leave. Yeah. We need to leave immediately.
Yeah,
it was too busy this year.
Yeah, it was too busy this year.
So I
missed a lot because a lot of times I just didn't want to queue. For most of stuff.
I missed like 4 or 5 of like my top 10, which is a bit of a massive shame.
Yeah. And you harumphed every time, which I respected, you know.
I what?
If you missed something. Harumphed.
What does that mean?
You were grumpy every time you missed something.
You didn't see me every night. I did. I grumped on Saturday night. I had a mad grump. I was genuinely depressed. Because it was Saturday night, I was like, what? I felt like I haven't seen any fucking music.
Yeah.
Because on Friday night...
Did you see Sammy Virgie?
Yes.
On which night?
The last night. The last night made up for everything.
Yeah.
But on Thursday night, they'd oversold it. It was busy as shit, very clearly. Yeah. We'd been a couple of times. It was way more busy than it has been. I spoke to George, Elle's brother, who's been fucking loads, and he was like, this is insane. It's the busiest he's ever seen it.
Yeah.
Too busy. But everything happens in the southeast corner in the evenings as well. The dance music goes on. So I always go there. And on Friday, it was like some of my top 2 I wanted to see were on I think like midnight or 1. And I was like, let's get there an hour early so we can get in. It was all fine to the stage. We knew the stage would be busy. But then we got there and it was like, oh no, the whole southeast corner's closed. Yeah. We couldn't get in. That's like, what, 70 stages, 50 stages where most of the shit happens in the evening. Yeah. We just couldn't get in. Yeah. For the whole evening, which is bad. That was really bad. So then we were just kind of wandering around, and I was like, you know, when I was like, we were in like a salsa tent at like 2 a.m. and I was like, no. I was like, where's the but then you go into different tents where there's like, you know, the Glastonbury house DJs almost. I'm like, why am I listening to this?
What you mean like what's on tap?
Yeah, it's exactly. It was like the house brewery, and I was sipping on the house brewery when I could be having like fucking Guinness.
Well, just the guy who's there all year round.
No, they're just the guy
who's
like,
DJing there now.
Exactly. It was like, oh, why? Who? Why not here for this guy? And then just like, you know, salsa stuff. It was obviously fun, but then I was just like, this isn't good enough. And then Saturday I probably stropped out. Yeah. Because couldn't. But there was like queues to get into different tents. Which I've never, like, there was a tent.
To get into my tent.
Are you implying you're running some sort of gigolo service?
Don't know, you take what you will. You're going to have that impression.
I think it's a bumhole service.
Sure, you can have that. That's your interpretation.
Your open bumhole of the tent. Men were piling in.
It's so busy. They're
Why is always a bumhole tent? Always so busy. So no, because they were like, so on the first day, I wanted to go see MJ Cole, who's like an old school garage guy, and it's in like a bar. It's called the Stonebridge Bar, which is a big tent. But there was like, you had to queue to get into there. Yeah. Like there's like metal railings to queue in there. So I missed loads of stuff, which is annoying, but still good stuff. And Sunday made up for it.
Did you find Glastonbury politically motivated you to become more left wing? With all the signs?
Did I become more left wing? I was definitely less left wing there. 100%.
What do you think about the activism at Glastonbury?
fine.
Well, it's just every coffee shop you go to is like free Burma. It's like, all right. It's just great. You know, because it's free everywhere.
When you're buying like a bacon bap and they're telling you I didn't even realise that was an issue, but sure. Yeah, I mean, well, it's part of the free love and whatever and all that stuff, which is more your fucking hippie speed in the forest.
It's true.
I don't see as much of it. Because I'm at the stages with, you know...
Well, there was one tent, which was the nuclear disarmament tent, which is right next to like...
Yeah, weirdly, I didn't hit that.
Which is next to like one which is trying to stop like a local lake being polluted. So it's like the biggest issue and the most local issue. But the nuclear disarmament tent, their big thing is it's an accident waiting to happen, which I feel is too small a statement when you're talking about nuclear weapons, as if it's like a ledge that has not got a soft ending on it.
That was their bit. Well,
it's like an accident waiting to happen. We can't have nuclear weapons. That is just an accident waiting to happen.
Their concern isn't that someone's going to push the button.
Yeah, it's an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's like Chernobyl.
Yeah, and then on the Thursday, I performed at Nomad at like a really, like, I guess like kind of left wing speakers event thing, which has been you know, and shout out Danny fucking Price for putting me, Paddy, and Sam on, and it was fun, but. Yeah, it was just, the whole thing was just sort of like, fuck the Tories.
Yeah.
But there was nothing else.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I didn't. I was on my way to the festival at this point, so I don't really know what exactly happened.
It was just a lot of like, Tories bad, God, aren't they rubbish?
Yeah, there isn't a lot of nuance.
It just didn't feel like there was anything being said. Bloody rubbish, all those
What
Tories.
I don't like is like all the people walking around. There was like guys walking around with like... a funeral procession for the Tories and like, you know, David Cameron mask and Rishi's mask. I'm like, just enjoy the festival, Netherlands. Just enjoy yourself.
But you packed that.
Like, yeah.
That's so fucking
and it
cringe.
must be so hot in there.
Yeah.
And they're carrying around a coffin. It was
what point do you guys think,
that's enough.
Yeah.
Just go and enjoy yourself.
I just also think at Glastonbury, you're preachers to
the choir. Yeah. Everyone,
what are we doing, guys?
It'll be bold for someone to go around with like, you know, fuck Labour.
I would be like fair fucking play to you.
Yeah.
Or if there's like a Tory MP canvassing, you know, like fair fuck.
Just go for it. Why the fuck not? Yeah, no, I didn't really.
What do you think of Banksy's powerful piece?
Was it definitely Banksy?
It was Banksy, yeah.
So he teamed up with Idols.
And apparently Idols kept doing like round of applause for like the NHS and trans people and stuff, which also annoys me. It just does. It's just fucking cringe. I just find it. Yeah, no, it's
because
brilliant.
It should be.
That's brilliant. Yeah,
it should be a bit of a fucking break from everything.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I want to, you know, get drunk.
I'll give you some peace and loves.
Yeah,
but, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The Tories are rubbish.
Like, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I know. Obviously.
I know, but like, I'm trying to watch a D&B DJ. I don't need to know. Yeah. Well, it's a bit again. I think it's like. A bit of an unnecessary reminder of everything. It's like, I know that we're having a fun time, but remember it's shit back
and also
at home.
it's not doing anything. It doesn't do anything.
The Banksy thing as well. I don't know if it didn't feel very tasteful.
I don't think it was tasteful
because it's like they're crowd surfing.
Yeah, they're having a great time.
It's like, whoa!
It makes me want to get in a small boat.
Yeah, I was like, well, let's jump on a small boat. And that looks great.
Yeah. So what's the message is
that people are struggling on boats.
Yeah.
While we're here at Idols.
Well, is that the kind of point now? Well, then it's like,
they're
you
not.
stinky
I don't
old
think
fucker.
they're actually shaming. Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was a little I don't know. Banksy noise. Like what? Yeah. Did he have a big smirk on when he did it, or was he like what's his facial expression when he unleashed? They're gonna fucking love that.
Yeah, mate. Or well, isn't it good to just remind people of the situation? I was like, do we have to be reminded? Maybe at that point.
And me and Andrew together did definitely see the headline act Coldplay. Yeah. Which I actually have a lot of thoughts about Coldplay, which is was basically the big act of the whole festival.
Yeah, biggest crowd, I think.
Yeah, biggest crowd. And it was a thrill. I've watched so many videos of Coldplay play live, especially in South America. It was a thrill to get a taste of that at Glastonbury.
Yeah.
You know,
everyone had
wristbands on. And so my feelings were, going into it, it was like, it's so easy to hate on Coldplay. Everyone likes to act like they're above it. And they throw Coldplay in with like Nickelback as just being the kind of generic shit band. I'm like, they're not that bad. I think you should stop being so cool and enjoy. Let's all get together and enjoy something. And I was ready for that. Then they open with Yellow, great tune. They had fucking signed. They had like 5 bangers back to back. And I was like, this is pretty amazing.
gnarly, yeah.
And they also seemed so comfortable up there. felt the most professional.
Well, it was crazy. They were just pros.
I'd seen the whole festival.
It was like they're not even.
It didn't phase them whatsoever. Because
almost every headline they basically cry.
Yeah, there's a moment of like, this is huge, but it was.
There's a pause.
There was like he was almost bored, but in like a way that I respected.
It
was just
because I came up to you and said, "This is like the most professional thing I think I've ever seen," because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, this is great, and that was like 5 songs, and then the middle section. That's where it started to veer a little bit.
There were strange decisions.
There were some strange decisions, and I started my opinions on Coldplay started to come back a little bit. So it started with, they played five bangers.
Because that's what we were like. I was like, this is going to be great because everyone knows all the songs.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be like a fucking sing along for the whole time.
And they could spat that set tight with so many hits you've forgotten.
And then they brought up Femi Kuti.
Well, so it all started to go wrong for me when there was like a hip hop beat. It was like they just played 5 of their songs and then boom, boom, and we were saying this would be the funniest time to drop the N-bomb maybe ever. If Chris Martin dropped a rap and it was just him saying the N-word, to see that many people turn their back on someone at the same time would be like amazing. The scale of that, because everyone has always been like love, da da da, and it might have been da 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 da. But then if he is like, right, let me break it down with you, it's like, no.
Oh my god! Well, it was
feeling. Would there be riots?
I think it must have been one of the biggest pyramid stage crowds ever.
Yeah.
So it would have been the biggest exodus from the pyramid because everyone would leave.
It would be like a stamp. People would die in the stampede.
Yeah, we can't really stay here, can we?
It would be
if they go straight from that to the scientists.
No one's ready for it.
You can't really enjoy it.
The coloured wristbands.
They've kind of ruined the rest of their oeuvre, haven't they?
So he got the hip hop beat in. And we were like, where is he going with this? And then he did a slideshow of his black friends, was it? Was it all of his black friends?
I guess it was his black friends, but who was on there?
I don't know.
Was it the classics?
I don't know, but
I think I saw Mandela.
It looked... No, I don't think it was... To me, I didn't know who any of them were.
MLK was on there.
Was he?
He did, basically what he did was...
Was it famous? Yeah.
I think so.
Because a lot of them... I didn't know who they were.
He did a black section.
It felt like he broke the beat down and then said, here's a slideshow of all the black people I know.
It's exactly what he did. It's exactly what he did. And then brought up Femi Kuti. Who was... he was performed on that stage.
So it's Fela Kuti's
son. Because I'd seen him...
Which, as I've said, doesn't mean anything because Fela Kuti has 400 sons, does he not?
Something like that. He had like a cult and a harem.
Everyone knows one of Fela. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, we live with one of them. But no, I'd seen Femi. He opened the pyramid stage that day, and I went for my meal, for my breakfast meal, and then also a Little Sims played that day as well. And so it felt for a minute like he saw 2 black people on the line on that day and went, do you want to come up?
I've got a black section for you guys.
Yeah, there's a black section we're doing. You might as well come up. But I thought that was a bit lame to bring up the two people that had played on the stage that day. I'm like, that's a bit fucking easy, isn't it?
And he gave up the stage to them, right? But it still pissed me off because there was a smugness to how little he was speaking during that. It was like, now it's time to listen.
This headlining performance.
It was like him going, wow, aren't black people amazing?
Cool. Aren't they cool? Well, it was a bit like this headline performance of Coldplay isn't about Coldplay. It's like,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it completely
It's
is.
Exactly about Coldplay. People are here to see Coldplay.
And so that I was starting to get annoyed at this point, right? And also his accent is... He sounds so rich now, where you have that sort of international school accent, but he didn't go to international school. He's just been touring and rich for so long. He's got that, he goes, okay, yeah. And he's like, I want to see those beautiful British arms.
That was so he did that. He did that early, and that was the first one everyone went, okay, we'll go.
Because clearly he's been doing a world tour, which wherever he is, he goes, let me see those beautiful Argentinian arms. It's like, but you're from here. This is Glastonbury.
Like, I guess they
are.
Why
are you acting like you're not from here?
Yeah.
It's like he's this sort of fucking demigod above all.
Yeah, he's transcended nationality.
See those beautiful British arms. And he's got this kind of weird...
That was the first time when everyone went, right.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It actually started to go downhill from that moment.
Yeah. And then I didn't actually see this... I only saw this later, but I think we there for it.
We left
but we didn't have the best view of the stage.
We left during the black section.
He then brings out...
Not because of the black section. No, we left because we had to go to see Disclosure.
Yeah. And then he brought out Michael J. Fox.
We missed that. We weren't there for that.
I think we were there
we
for
might
that,
have been leaving.
but I don't think we just didn't see it.
I think we were leaving.
Because he was sat on... And that was when it was like... He just kept bringing out... I didn't know who was going to bring out next, right?
Yeah.
So Michael J. Fox, because they all like the film Back to the Future...
I read somewhere that Back to the Future were the reason that Coldplay started. And the reporter didn't ask why.
What do you
What do you
mean?
mean Back to the Future is the reason the band started? Because what? They were all watching Back to the Future one day and like, we need to start a band.
We need to start a band.
Why?
I mean, it was... so they got Michael J. Fox with Parkinson's playing a guitar solo, which was, surprisingly good considering the Parkinson's.
It was a sweet moment. That was sweet.
It was, but I don't know.
That happens all the time on headline stuff. Like, that's kind of not... People bring people out. That's a sweet one. I like the Michael J. Fox thing. I thought that was sweet.
And then he had a singer with one arm.
The gospel choir who did, like, a breakdown of something. That was during the black section. Yeah. Then Michael J. Fox ended the black section.
Okay, yeah. And, I did enjoy it. It was fun, but
we left at the right time.
He's gone too far. Too many people have said yes to him, and it did feel cynical. A lot of it, I thought, near the end, and I just don't know.
Yeah.
It felt. I mean, someone has said something that it feels like Christian music for atheists, which I think
that's good.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Whereas you're kind of recreating the idea of kind of togetherness of religion, but it's like there's not really anything here apart from these kind of platitudes of like love, togetherness,
paradise.
Everything is beautiful, man.
Yeah,
Michael J. Fox. Look at my black friends.
Yeah, no, I think we left at the right time for it.
Yeah,
is what I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really remember any of my highlights or anything, or like what. I haven't really got any funny stories from it.
No.
Justice were fantastic. Lil Sims was fantastic. Who else was there? Sammy Vergy.
I can't really remember.
And other people.
But yes, a good time had by all. We had to go home early on the Sunday, of course, because of poor old Bebes, who's still pretty ill.
Tough one.
Real tough one. Humbling experience. I found it, since it's coming back... have you noticed like sort of the discourse around Glastonbury? Like people do get too gassed about Glastonbury, and as we said before, left my soul
Don't say it again.
in a field in Somerset.
I'll get in
There's
more
obviously
trouble.
that side, but there's also another side, which is the sort of people who have really badly disguised FOMO. Have you noticed this? There's a lot of people who have been saying, no one wants to see your Glastonbury pictures.
Yeah.
Talking about how it's just an overpriced thing for middle class cunts. But like posting so much about it, it's like, no, you clearly really felt like you missed out.
Yeah.
And I find like that attitude sometimes quite annoying, people posting about it afterwards.
Yeah,
it feels really bitter.
I agree. I hate when anyone posts.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I hate when people post about Glastonbury who've been or haven't been. It's boring.
Yeah.
It's because it happens every year.
Yeah.
It's like, you're annoyed you didn't go. You're happy you went.
Yeah.
I don't care about the time.
But the people who are annoyed they didn't go frame it as if they're...
Yeah. As if they were happy that they weren't going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it's always, which is insane. It's always a great time. But I do understand it because like it's the amount of fucking posts on it from like stories and then that fucking Monday where it's just a flurry of look at this, look at that. I understand it, but because it's insane how many I guess
you forget how many people
go.
Well, I mean, there were so many people there, so of course.
Yeah. But no, it was good. Too busy. Too busy this year. It definitely wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Had better.
Yeah.
It was better than last year for me.
Of course.
But no, overall great. Overall great and good fun.
Something that we missed out on because of Glastonbury was the debate.
Which one?
Obviously
Biden?
No. Was it
Farage thingy.
The Green Party.
Well, people were angry at us because we didn't discuss Trump Biden.
Oh yeah, some of the comments about politics. Can you fucking losers shut the fuck up, please?
Honestly, relax.
Jesus Christ. We talked about politics in this podcast for the whole time we've been here. It's an election. And it's funny being called like an idiot.
And naive.
Because we're not Reform UK. That's not like and it's like young people now are coming behind Reform UK. I don't think it's like a crazy.
And they're calling us, we don't know fucking anything about politics.
Because we don't support Farage.
Stick to the comedy. You don't know shit about politics. I do have a degree in politics, by the way.
But how the fuck?
FYI.
Who's listening to this? It feels. I didn't know that people who listened to this were big Farage heads.
No,
it was a crazy like. I thought that was pretty implicit that it's not. We're not pro reform.
I thought it was quite an inoffensive podcast. I can't remember it. To be honest.
Yeah,
but yeah, because on the bus on the way back, I just checked the podcast and it was like 36 comments. I was like, oh fuck me, and then it was just like debates sparking out, and it was like that.
But we were very excited about the Trump-Biden debate, and to be honest, it delivered more than any of us could have imagined. Because I mean, you were disappointed that we were going to miss it because of Glastonbury.
I was hoping they were going to screen it.
And I thought it was going to be a damp squib. I thought in my head, I was like, I've built up in my head, it's actually going to be quite boring, like the last time they debated was, when not that much actually happened.
When was that?
For 2020.
Yeah. But now the whole point is like, is Biden going to like poop himself?
Yeah, but I was like, it's been built up like that. It might just be quite a turgid affair.
But you look at every one of his fucking appearances. Have you seen his stuff on the teleprompter? He keeps reading out the wrong things. He keeps reading out brackets on the teleprompter. So he was talking about like a teacher that inspired him. He was like, yeah, and I had this great teacher that inspired me back at school. It was Peter, last name. And there's more than one.
Peter,
last name. It's genuine.
Well, do we not know his name could have been Peter last?
Could have been Peter last name. In fairness, yeah. Well, they put it.
Was that cleared up that it wasn't Peter last name?
No, it wasn't Peter last name.
Because then they cut to Peter last name and it was like, Biden was one of my best students.
He was the best. Yeah, Peter last. No, his name wasn't Peter last name. Like,
last name is one of my
last name's a good last name.
That's an incredible son. Ratio last name.
Yeah, there's a few others of him just reading the brackets on the television.
But it was explosive. I've watched the highlights. You've watched all of it.
I've got like 10 minutes left. I've had to.
So you can take a lead on this because I've only seen the highlights.
I had to take a break from it yesterday.
But I found out about it at Glastonbury. Paddy was showing me like all the new stuff, and I couldn't believe.
Like what?
Well, it was just I couldn't believe how much he'd. I wasn't there to have it naturally. It was at breakfast during Glastonbury. I found out. I was like, it's such a big deal. It really is.
The guy can't speak anymore.
I mean,
it's like, all over.
This is, of course, it's all over.
But it's just like,
fucking crazy.
Every time, like he literally looks like he's wandered out from a care home. But that's not even an exaggeration. We might have said that last year as a fun little joke. I'm not joking. He is exactly like that. He stumbles on, and he's always just like looking around.
It's the president of the United States.
He's the president, and he's going. If you look at it, his mouth is open for the whole thing, and he's going like this for the whole time.
Hey, man.
Oh, hey, what?
You got the one thing he got out was he called Trump. He said Trump's got the morals of an alley cat.
Yeah, that
was his one kind of poning moment.
He had a few rehearsed jabs that he got in.
Yeah.
But there was one point where I think he was talking about immigration.
Yeah.
And he started saying something. It was so based on like the debate was a bit boring because when there's two ex-presidents, they just talk about their previous records. So it's loads of stats rather than a bit of a fun jostle of ideas. But he was talking about something to do with immigration and then towards the end, he just said a sentence that wasn't essentially a sentence. He stumbled over a few words, and Trump and then kind of just stopped and then stared out into wherever he was looking, and then Trump said, well, I've no idea what he just said and I don't think he does either, and it's like, sure, it's over at that point. And then when Biden didn't even react to that, he's just still like going,
it was so surreal.
It was mental. The guy, he's gone. That's why the debate was so important, is because they weren't allowed any notes.
Yeah.
They weren't allowed any contact with their team.
Yeah.
It was an hour and 45 minutes or something.
Yeah.
And it's just Biden up there for an hour and 45 minutes getting asked tough questions with Trump, and he just can't do it because he's dead.
And to be honest, Trump didn't even do that well. Trump's pretty fucking old.
Yeah, they're both.
But it doesn't matter at all because the way Biden, this is the worst performance of all time on the biggest stage you could possibly have a presidential debate.
Well, we can't do it.
But it's also how like we have all been gaslit by the Democrats into. All we've been saying is Sleepy Joe. This was the last election.
But I don't think we have been.
Like, yeah.
For his
don't let him run again. He's too old. Has been the big thing. No, he's fine. What the fuck? This was so clearly.
He shouldn't have. But
But he's been like this for a while. I mean, obviously it's getting worse, but it was always going to get worse. If you were as bad as he was 2 years ago, what do you think was going to happen if he got another 4 years as president?
So the actual presidency, he's been forgetting shit. He's been freezing as well. Yeah. He's been falling over.
But there was talks of this for the last election.
I know. No one in their right mind would want Biden to run again. No one.
But why did he run again?
Because he's an incumbent, and that's a big help in the polls. And he's beaten Trump before. That's why. It's like those stats are really important.
But it's such a huge oversight by the team. Yeah. Because it was so. This was clearly going to happen.
All they've got to do is get him through the election, not looking like a corpse, and then it's done. But he's massively declined even further. Because you see how much like Obama aged just on his face.
Yeah.
It was like, think about how Joe's going to age when he's already like...
What do you mean with all the stresses of like...
Of being the president of America.
It's going to kill him.
It's honestly, he looks like... It's disgraceful. He looks so much less mentally with it than my grandpa.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievably so. And I think my grandpa's older.
You know, he's older than Bill Clinton, who was president 31 years ago.
That's nuts. But no, he can't. But it's insane that they've made an insane decision to keep him on. But
crazy.
But he can still pull out now.
He has to. He has to.
But he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, surely. But that's that. He has to pull out.
He doesn't know what's.
Surely it's gone. But it was so shocking that it felt like. I mean, I guess I haven't really seen that much right-wing news sources, but it felt like it wasn't even that much gloating, or they hadn't even gone on for the kill, because even from the right there was a feeling of sympathy.
But that's like,
this isn't even a fair fight. Trump was holding back.
That's what I said to you. I said the Trump's team have clearly said to him, don't go too into him, because it's going to look like elder abuse.
Yeah.
It's just not going to look very nice. It's going to look like you're hitting an old man.
But it just feels like from the whole political discourse, there's like, even on the right, they're like, even how bipartisan everything's got, just having a president who's not with it at all, it's just bad for everyone. There's just a general feeling of like, shock. This isn't at all like a civil war. This is all like, what are we going to do with this old man?
Yeah, it's not really left versus right. It's like a corpse versus right. You can't, do you want an old man to run? No, the guy's dying.
So Trump's going to win, definitely, right?
Yeah. You think so? Well, no, it's so before the debate, it was they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
It was neck and neck. I don't know about the polls after, but I'm sure
I've seen a poll. It's Trump's big swing.
Surely there's a massive swing. So he's got to go.
So Kamala.
I don't know. That's not going to be very popular.
Yeah. I don't like her for some reason.
People hate her, but I don't know. But bump. I guess that's their names combined.
Donald Bump. That's got that one.
No, it'll be Donald Bump. Donald Bump. Sounds quite fun. It sounds like a birthday clown. Donald Bump. Biden has repeatedly refused to stand down. I don't think he's going to stand down. Now would be the time.
Yeah, but I could get him to stand down. He fucking doesn't know what day it is.
You couldn't get him to stand down.
He's not giving God that. Like, you just get him on a day where he thinks he's
a frog.
Fishing.
Yeah, then being like, yeah, no, it's fucking crazy. And then all this teleprompter stuff is happening after. He's taken like.
The teleprompter stuff doesn't happen after.
Debate. Yeah. I want to see if I can find.
So did the last name gaff happen after the debate?
Yeah. He's now like having problems. So he was having problems in the debate thinking about his own things to say. And now he's got to the point where he can't even read other people's things that they've said. I'm typing Biden.
So does it have to be Kamala who replaces him?
No, I don't think so. No.
Who else could it possibly... Do you have any idea
I have no idea who
could it possibly...
RFK.
But I don't know if he wouldn't be able to take the Democratic.
Yeah, he can. I'm pretty sure you can.
But then... I mean, it's funny that RFK is the most kind of with it. And his voice is...
I can't do it because my voice is
What is going on?
There's a lot
Surely there's someone else.
Yeah, there are other people.
Wasn't RFK on Kill Tony?
He was on Kill Tony. He was at the Kill Tony at the LA Forum. Came out, did a bit.
It would be awesome if RFK took over the Democratic candidacy.
Yeah,
but it won't happen.
It's not going to happen 100%.
They'll just get like a party guy, but it doesn't feel like there's anyone even in the wings for either side.
Wait, hold on, I found it. Let me just.
Catholic school. My theology professor at the Catholic school I went to was a guy named Riley, last name, and he had been drafted by the Green Bay Packers.
This is after the debate. Surely it's not after the debate.
Well, it was posted recently, 5th of the 9th.
Riley last name.
Riley last name. Just with all the confidence of a deranged old man. Riley last name. And he doesn't, the problem with that is that you can make a mistake and accidentally read out last name, but you go, hold on, that's not right. He just goes, Riley last name. And he doesn't even realise he's made a mistake.
To be fair to Biden, there was a fear that getting him in, it was the most boring president. That's what I was very scared of when Biden came in. I was like, this is one of the most dull. With the exciting options we had, there's no one more dull than Biden. But he's really pulled out the stops because this is historically exceptional.
It is.
To have, these sort of gaffes. It's kind of up there with kind of Trump's funniest moments. Biden's kind of, he's creating his own highlight reel that, could
just
compete.
Confused.
It's crazy.
He's just confused all the time.
Fucking crazy.
So I mean, who the fuck knows? I mean, if he doesn't pull out, surely it's all over. But we'll see.
If you're in America, would you vote for RFK?
Fucking don't know.
I'd probably vote RFK.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
But then Trump will get in.
Yeah, you have to. You just have to bite the bullet.
I guess he can't.
In reality, what you'd think is that he's like his advisors are going to be making all these decisions.
Yeah, I guess so.
So you're going to have to be like, what would you prefer, the Democratic apparatus or the Republican apparatus? Which you don't want Trump in. So you've got to vote for the senile man, rather than the slightly less senile demonic man.
I've never seen a response to a debate like it as well, because after debates, everyone always rushes to say their side won, and it's nearly always quite hard to work out who did better or not. But having top Democrats coming out talking about how disappointing the performance was. Yeah. Obama talking about having we all have bad TV appearances. Well, not really.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember you.
I don't remember you like forgetting where you are for a minute. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But the highlight reel is insane. You're right. He's getting there. He's the king.
Should we finish on Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
So, and I don't know who's behind this. I don't know who watched the Portugal-Slovenia game, but Ronaldo, who's been kind of trying to hog the spotlight as much as possible and maybe not performing as well as he should be, got a penalty in the 110th minute, whatever, and he hasn't scored the whole tournament, and he's been taking every free kick, even though he has a terrible record from free kicks. Yeah. And he missed the penalty that would potentially send Slovenia home and send Portugal through to the next round. And the BBC caption underneath
after
when
the game
analysing was Cristiano Ronaldo.
Now that reminded us of a certain something.
Now Gary, does this go to Gary, or has he created a culture? Because this reminded us of it's beginning to look Christmassy.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmassy. It's beginning to look it's beginning to look quite Christmassy or a bit Christmassy.
So after the greatest football game of all time, the Qatar World Cup final.
The final send-off to Cameron.
The
final words we heard from the most iconic World Cup.
It was a Christmas World Cup. You forget it was during Christmas, to be fair.
It would be, if it was in June, we'd have...
So after this, one of the greatest sports televised events of all time, Gary Lineker looks barrel down the camera and says...
It's beginning to look a bit Christmassy. Christmassy.
It's
beginning to look a bit Christmassy. See, I know other words.
And he's been known for a pun.
In fairness.
He's been known for a dad joke. He's been known for a pun.
In fairness, there's a big trend, and now there's a counterculture against it, towards kind of cinematic commentating in football.
Yes.
And this is
the Peter of the world.
This is our fault, because on TikTok, all I'd see was...
The Shakespeare of football.
It's a bit like Martin Tyler is Joe Biden and Peter Drury is Trump.
Yeah.
Because everyone, and to be fair, some of the clips I saw of Martin Tyler
not reacting
were abysmal.
What, like a goal?
And they've done it.
John Motti was my favourite, every time I go,
it was just like forcing it out. In fairness, the guy's seen everything.
Yeah.
But so then everyone was campaigning like, look what they've got in America with Peter Drury. He was like writing poetry for an equalizer. And now everyone's fed up with it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because he clearly writes these speeches about the rain comes from the sky, like the tears of gods landing on the ball as Messi strikes it, the little boy from Rosario.
Yeah.
It's like, you've written that, you're a fucking loser.
Yeah.
If that was coming straight off the dome,
I also think
if you did it once,
Yeah.
then it could be powerful. If you do it every single game,
Yeah.
and you clearly prep it all night, you're a loser.
It's a too many cooks spoil the broth situation as
but
well.
there's too many what?
There's too many dramatic readings.
Spoil the
Football game.
Okay, good.
Don't test me. Even in this state, I'm gonna get a too many cooks metaphors. Even here, look, he's still got it.
So too many dramatic regions.
Too many
spoil
dramatic
spoil the football game.
Because he does it for like fucking equalisers that don't mean anything. He was doing it. He's been doing it all year. He'd do it at the big moments, fine. But also, he's running out of words. Like he's not a great.
I mean, he's used a lot of them.
He's used a lot. He's not actually running out of words. But he's running out of good poetry.
Yeah.
Because he's used a lot of all this
His
stuff
bars.
for like Norwich versus Newcastle. So now he's used all of his good stuff, and now it's just getting worse and worse, and he's run out. And it's just a bit shit because it seems false and no one believes it. So with that in mind, the it's beginning to look a bit Christmassy. Was a welcome change.
Sure.
It was a wink to the camera, and look. The sport's spoken for itself. Let's have a bit of fun here. Eh?
Okay.
We're here for a bit of a biff and a boff.
I just liked it because it was
and a swaff.
It was to me what I loved about it was like a perfect concerto. You know?
Right.
It was note perfect, and then the final note was just.
That's very true as well. Yeah. But it was purposeful because Drury's trying to join in with the concerto. Whereas Lineker has gone at the end. Yeah. Which I find...
He's cut the legs out from it. He's a comedian, actually.
At his core...
In another life, he would have been a comic.
He's a comedian. So, it was one of my favourite lines ever. So, the BBC have done it again. Yeah. This year with Mistiano Ronaldo.
And that's when they do analysis, they'll have like a little yellow bar that has a title of what
Says
you're looking at.
what they're talking about.
But so no one said Mistiano Ronaldo, but it was written there. Now, that was probably whoever writes that. I don't know who that went through.
Was it BBC?
It was BBC.
Was Gary on screen?
He would have been, probably. Now, Gary wouldn't have said, write Mistiano Ronaldo, but I think it's the culture that he's created at the BBC.
Yeah.
I think if someone else was the head honcho there, that wouldn't have been done. So even if he didn't have anything to do with it, the culture of puns that has been created by Lineker, I think that's what's led to Mistiano Ronaldo.
I think they had a recap of the World Cup, like what went well, even better if. What went well is beginning to look a lot Christmas. It's beginning to look a bit Christmassy. Yeah, and
even better if.
Even better if. Let's do more of that. So, Mistiano Ronaldo, I'm not sure if Lineker was even on screen for this.
No, let's talk about that as a pun. Mistiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
It's better than it's beginning to look a bit Christmassy.
Yeah.
Because it's
a stretch.
The reason why we always find it hard to remember the Christmassy pun is because it doesn't make any sense. Because the song is, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Yeah.
And he didn't say it's beginning to look a lot like Christmassy.
Yeah.
He said it's beginning to look a bit Christmassy. And it's beginning to look a bit Christmassy. No one really says that. So it doesn't really work, which is why it's even better as a pun in my world. Whereas Mistiano Ronaldo is a flawless pun. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely perfect.
Now, obviously, Ronaldo has been very petulant, and over the last 3 or 4 years, his legacy is waning quite a lot.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
It's Dwayning The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
His legacy is Dwayning The Rock Johnson, for sure. I want Peter Jury to say that.
No, we'll have Mistiano Ronaldo on screen while they're like, his legacy is surely Dwayne The Rock Johnson. What is going on? I've learned them just some purely speaking puns.
But it does feel quite disrespectful to the man. Say what you will about Ronaldo, just to be that titanic a figure in football and sport in general.
Call him Mistiano Ronaldo.
Because he misses a penalty. I feel that is quite
it's certainly rude.
I mean, obviously he's kind of asking for it with how petulant he's been. Yeah. But it just feels a bit unfair.
It's an out of pocket hit. It's below the belt. Mistiano Ronaldo. He's just like the amount
trying to get that off the ground.
The amount of moments I've created in this game.
The amount of penalties I score, and now you're gonna try and make that my
Mistiano Ronaldo. Yeah, no, 10 out of 10 for me. The more puns, the better in the football coverage. Enough of Drury, more of Lineker.
Yeah. Did you watch the England? Obviously, it was at Glastonbury.
So no.
Did you just hear about it all afterwards?
Yeah, I someone said it, and I was like, okay, good.
So as we're leaving the festival, it was like the 92nd minute as we left the.
Oh shit! So you thought we were out?
And then there was someone had a loudspeaker in the crowd. And so it was literally as the festival was ending, we were going out 1-0.
Which would have been
vibes.
hilarious. Yeah, I've been saying for the whole
if
time.
we missed any.
Because I'd 100% preferred us to go out last round, rather than this round.
Really?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah, 100%. Because I would just found it really funny how the most boring Euros ever for us. All of the games were fucking boring as
Terrible.
sin.
Yeah.
And then we missed the last game because we were in Glastonbury, a 1-0 to Slovakia.
I do think the funniest thing is if we win every game. Like this.
Like that. And it's just, no one enjoys the games.
And then we left with this really weird feeling.
It's
of
like, I guess we won.
That was still really...
It's probably
and then
going
we'd
to
still
happen.
probably sat down.
I am, yeah.
And we were still just like, I know we won, but that's
you didn't mean to win. You didn't
trying
mean
to
to do
lose.
that. That was a fluke. No, I reckon I'm backing us now.
Really? Just after that?
Just I think there's that like...
Je ne sais quoi.
I guess there's that kind of mentality that, does win tournaments.
Yeah.
When it's like, it's kind of like impossible to lose because it's so boring and they just kind of you just get through. It's like losing would be too interesting.
Yeah.
England losing to Slovakia would be too interesting.
Yeah.
England drawing to like Denmark was like, I guess that's fine. England winning 1-0 against, who did we win 1-0 against?
We won 1-0 against
First game.
Albania, I think.
No.
Serbia.
You're like, yeah, that makes sense. And winning 2-1 against Slovakia, you're like, yeah. They're just doing everything to make sure it's not like it makes sense. And
So
it's boring.
what score predictions for Switzerland then?
I think it's going to be 1-0 to England.
Do you think?
Yeah, but we'll score at like the 30th minute, and it will be a very average goal, and then we'll just like go between the two midfields for the whole game. And then Southgate will make subs.
No, I
at
think
the
we're going to
85th
play.
minute.
We're going to play terribly for 85 minutes.
Well, I mean that within my prediction.
Yeah.
I thought that was presumed.
What's the pun?
If we win 1-0.
No, what's the pun for how you described that game? What's the BBC pun?
Oh God, which game? Switzerland?
No, yeah. So you've just predicted that we're going to win 1-0. What's the bit? What's the? Would it be like? Would it be like? Winneth Borgate?
That's all we got time for, folks.
Thanks
It's been an
very
absolute
much.
pleasure.
And we'll see you next
Subscribe to
week.
the Patreon.
Yeah.